Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're checking out Pokemon Legends Arceus. Or Arceus. Arceus? I don't actually know how to say the name. Welcome back guys. Like I said, thank you for joining into the video today. It has been a while since I've made a video. I've been working, and then the second I got off work I got sick for literally a whole week plus some. I'm still a little bit not 100% myself yet. My voice is still kind of going in and out, so hopefully everything looks and sounds good guys. And it's been a while since I made a video. I've finished surprisingly like 3 or 4 games, so more reviews are coming your guys' way, so be sure to like and subscribe so you guys can be updated when all those reviews pop up. I got a couple of big ones coming up, so definitely want to be subscribed for those. Jumping right into Pokemon Legends, I always called it Arceus. I'm not exactly 100% sure how it's pronounced. I know that there's an episode on the anime, Pokemon anime, where they say it, and I haven't seen it personally, but I believe they say Arceus, but I'm not 100% sure like on that. I've always just said Arceus, so. But yeah guys, let's just jump right into it. Jumping into the story first, guys, you play as a character that is thrown back in time by Arceus, and somehow you still have your cell phone. It doesn't really make sense, but basically you go back in time to the Hisui region, which will in the future becomes, I believe, the Sinnoh region. You're thrust back into a time where Pokemon are still seen as scary and evil, and not very many people have Pokemon, let alone do battles. There's literally just a handful of people. There's still battles in the game, but it's not nearly as much as like you would think in like the Sword and Shield or even the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and it's kind of cool. Your main objective going through this game is to complete the first ever Pokédex, which is kind of funny because I felt like that's what you were doing in the very first Pokemon game, and he said that that was new, so it is kind of figuring out which one it is. But this one is like a paper. You like whip it out and it's like a little folder full of information that you're collecting on Pokemon. So that's the main objective you're doing as you go throughout Pokemon Arceus. There are tons of side quests. There is no limit to how many side quests you can have. You can literally have as many as you want open, and all the side quests, not all of them, but there's a lot of really fun ones and a lot of main quests. Other than your main objective, you're trying to quell or calm down the nobles, which have gone frenzy, and it's basically where they're all gold and angry and not how they normally are, disrupting the balance and just destroying stuff. And so as you're going through along, filling out your Pokédex, taking out these nobles or quelling these nobles, calming them down is a big part of what you're also doing. I believe that there's 5 main nobles, and obviously there's a few boss fights at the end. Oh, jumping really into that really quick. I'm trying not to spoil too much in this video. I know Pokemon Legends literally came out not even a month ago yet, so I'm going to try to be as spoiler free as I can. But just in case I let something slip and I miss it, here's your spoiler warning now. I'm sorry it's like already like 3 or 4 minutes into the video, but here's your warning. Jumping next into the gameplay. This is a open world-ish type Pokemon game, which is something that I've literally been wanting for since I can remember. Since I was super little, I would always been like, it'd be super cool to just kind of walk around and play a game where you can just literally catch Pokemon and you could see them running around and you could see the shinies. And a lot of the other games do that. Like I know Legends and Sword and Shield do that. But this is like the official open world-ish. It's very similar to Monster Hunter Rise. I got that game for Christmas, and so that's how it's fresh in my mind. I still haven't beaten it yet, where you go to one big area and you can pretty much go anywhere you want in that specific area, but once you're done you move to another area. So it's a bunch of like really big areas, but it is, I would say, open world-ish, not quite where you could just literally go anywhere you want, but anywhere in that particular section. Now in this game you can literally choose to do or go about things literally however you want. In the Pokédex, to fill out your Pokédex, it's got a bunch of requirements that you could do. You could either battle Pokemon, make it see a certain move so many times, catch it without it noticing, and so there's a lot of freedom into filling out your Pokédex. You could be stealthy and catch Pokemon within the grass, or you can literally just go in what I call guns blazing and literally just fight everything you want. And I kind of did a mixture of both, and it was really fun to have like the freedom to be able to do basically whatever you wanted. And also there's no what's it called, like fight animation like in the old games, like when you encountered a Pokemon or somebody that wants to battle, there's like this whole like intro, and it does the whole camera swing around thing, and the fight animation. This doesn't do that. It's like, oh, you're fighting, let's fight right here. There's no animation, so it's very quick. And if you decide that you're not having it, you don't want to fight it, or in my case there's a lot of alpha Pokemon. These are like these super big beefy versions of literally all the Pokemon that are running around, and they're super hard. And there's sometimes where I'm like, hey, I don't have any revives, I don't have anything. This dude's gonna knock out all my Pokemon, or he's being dumb and just healing himself over and over again. You could literally just legit leave. You don't even have to finish. You'll get far enough away that your Pokemon zaps back into his Pokeball, and then you could just run away. I mean, they could still see you. You got like an icon above you letting you know that, hey, a Pokemon does see you and is trying to actively attack you, kind of thing, or run away. It's kind of vice versa. But you could literally just run away if you want, which is, I just love the freedom that they give you there. It's awesome. They also introduce crafting into this game. The crafting system in here is fun. You can literally craft anything as you level up and progress in not only your Pokédex, but in your star rank with the Team Galaxy or something like that. You can unlock recipes for different Pokeballs, revives, potions, stuff like that. And a lot of these things you can find out in the wild by hitting trees, getting berries, breaking these rocks to get different gem pieces to make these Pokeballs. Which kind of segues into the next thing I want to talk about, the different types of Pokeballs. You got your traditional Pokeball, your Great Ball, your Ultra Ball, and they look like the first models of the current ones. They got like a little latch on them. They look kind of cool, actually. I really like how they look, but they're like the very first editions. And on top of that, you have like specialty balls. For like when you're filling out your Pokédex, you got like the Feather Ball, I believe it's called, and it's one that you can be further away and throw very fast and very precise. Like I was up on a top of a hill, and I saw like a bunch of Spheals that I was trying to catch, and I was just like boom, 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 and I caught them all. They had no idea that I was trying to throw them at them. Another Pokeball, which is probably my favorite and that I used most of the game, was the Heavy Ball. You can go through stealthily, in the grass, and the ball doesn't have very big range on it, so you get right up behind him. And its special thing is that because it's heavy, it literally stuns the Pokemon, making it harder for them to catch. And if you hit Pokemon in the back, regardless of if it's a heavy ball or not, it does extra, I guess, catch percentage. I don't want to say damage, but has a higher percentage of catching it. So you got like the heavy ball, sneak up behind and toss it, and it makes a nice smack sound. And that was the ball that I used the most, and I craft that the most, and I bought that the most. It was my favorite one. Now, one of the biggest things that I feel like the biggest changes that they made to Pokemon in general is the way that you do battles now. They added what's called a strong attack and an agile attack. Now, with these, you can be a little bit more strategic in your battling. For example, like the strong attack has the ability to do twice as much damage, but the drawback is you'll be able to lose 2 turns. So the enemy can essentially attack you twice, but even though you did twice the damage. And then kind of almost the opposite effect with the agile attack. You can do a weakened version of your attack, but have the ability to attack twice. So it makes it kind of strategic. For instance, one of the techniques that I did is I like to lead with an agile attack, do a weak attack, but now I get that second one, and then when it was my, come back to me again, I would do a strong attack, which kind of made me attack, I would say probably 2.5 times, because that first attack is a weakened version. And so I really loved the new battle system. I hope that they put this in future Pokemon games. It made it much more engaging and interactive than just kind of back and forth as it was traditionally. Talking a little bit about customization, there is a little bit of a customization for your character in this game. It isn't super in-depth or great or anything. I only bring it up because I saw this like green and black checkered kimono, and it reminded me of Demon Slayer, and I'm a huge fan of Demon Slayer. So I tried to make my avatar dude, my character, look like Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. And as I got them all together, I sat back and I realized, he doesn't actually look like Tanjiro. He looks more like Neji from Naruto. So I kind of went with Neji too, and I made my eyes all whited out. And I left the green kimono, though, because the kimono is freaking sick. But yeah, the customization isn't super in-depth, but it is there for anybody that is kind of into that kind of stuff. Moving on to the visuals, guys. It kind of pains me to say this, but this is like the worst looking Pokemon game of like recent years. And by recent, I mean like the ones that were released for the Switch. We got Let's Go, Sword and Shield, the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and then now Pokemon Legends, right? And out of all those games, I mean, because obviously, you know, Legends is going to look better than the Game Boy version from 10, 15 years ago. So it still looks good, better than those. But I'm just talking about as like in the Switch's lifetime. This is the worst looking Pokemon game out of all of them. There's textures that are popping in and out, especially when you're on the mounts or when you're flying. Like, it's just so bad. The frame rates drop. Like, I noticed it a lot when I was flying. You could see, like, Zubats or whatever they were literally moving at, like, 3 frames a second. It was just terrible. And then Pokemon loading in and out. Like, you would look down and it would just be barren. And then as you fly down, then they, like, pop in and out. So, it just had a lot of those issues. Now, on the flip side, things that I really liked visually were the battle animations. Like, when you're actually fighting other Pokemon, fighting other trainers, like just the way that they did it looked really cool. The Pokemon's attacks, a lot of them looked really cool. I chose Cyndaquil, and so I went with Typhlosion, which the new Hisuian forms look so cool. Actually, a lot of the Hisuian forms in this whole game are really cool, and I try to get as many as I could. Cleaver is freaking awesome, but like all their abilities and all the attacks looked really good. It was just a shame that basically everything else was terrible. Legends just visually just did not look as good as previous titles, and it's a real shame. Kind of, I guess, going on visuals, I mean, it's not quite visuals, but the level design, I feel like for this game was fairly decent-ish. When you first come in, like, most of the world just looks barren, like the trees are barely there, you know, even like when you go to these different regions, like the ice, the beach, the like forest type area, a lot of the stuff kind of pops in and it really pulls you out. But I just wish that they filled it with more stuff, more you know, vegetation or ice, rocks, like just whatever you want to call it, just filled it with something. And I mean, I guess on top, you know, with that, there is like diverse areas. Like I said, there's, you know, you got your ice area that's got all your ice Pokemon. You got like your beach front, the forest. There's even like some mud fields. So there is diversity in that, which all come with like their exclusive Pokemon to the region, and also your kind of same Pokemon. Like I think I noticed, like the bunny Pokemon, Bunary on everyone, and you know, a few others. I think Shinx was kind of everywhere too, and a lot of the ghost Pokemon. But so it was diverse in that. But I just wish that there was just a little bit more with that. Now, traveling these different areas, you got your mounts. There are a few different mounts that you can get, and along with these mounts, you can actually get these Pokemon actually in game. They don't ever tell you how to do that. I won't spoil it, but you can actually get them. A lot of them are evolving with an item. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. Now, the last little thing that I want to talk about with Pokemon Legends Arceus is the boss fights. There is quite a number of boss fights. I kind of broke it up into, you know, different types. I would have to say that your main bosses for the most part of the game are your nobles, right? And your nobles are these sacred Pokemon that have kind of gone crazy. Frenzies is what they call them. You got like Cleaver's one of them. The Voltorb's one of the Hisuian Voltorb. So there's 5 different ones that you have to kind of quell. Avalog is another one. And I would have to say that those ones are probably your main bosses, along with the legendary that you fight at the end, which I don't want to spoil it, but it's one of 2 that you can fight, at least before the credits roll. Obviously, end game after credits, there's a lot more stuff that you could do. But those are the 5, I would say, main ones. And then you got what I would consider as mini bosses are all the alpha Pokemon. I mean, you may think that they're mini boss fights or not, but some of them are actually pretty dang difficult to take down, and even more difficult to take down plus capture. Like one that you encounter in the very first area is a Snorlax that is alpha, and he's pissed off and he's angry, and I got him super low, but he does like this high horsepower move, and it would literally just knock out everything, one hit, and he broke out of the ball all the time, and he was just difficult. But the difference between these nobles and these alphas is that the nobles you have to hit with these pouches full of like their favorite food or whatnot, and you toss it at them until you bring their I don't want to know if it's a health meter, but you bring that meter down enough to where they stop for a second, and you can throw a Pokemon at them, you know, knock them out, and then you repeat the process until they're done. Now with the alphas, you don't have to do that. You can literally just jump right in and start battling. A lot of times if they see you, they'll do like a roar and knock you off your mount or knock you back onto your bottom or whatever it is that you're doing, and then they'll engage the fight. So I would consider those ones kind of your mini bosses, but you can capture. The nobles, you actually can't capture that particular noble, but all the nobles that you fight you can get in game. Like for instance, Cleaver is one of the nobles that you fight, and you can indeed get a Cleaver. You got to catch a Scyther and then evolve it with a certain item to get Cleaver. So there, you can still get all these Pokemon. It's just that the alphas you can actually catch in the wild, and that the nobles you don't actually capture, but you can capture the same type, if that makes sense. Now guys, kind of sitting back and thinking about it, you know, the story for this was fairly good. Like I said, I don't want to get too far into spoilers, but I thought it was okay. I mean, it's a Pokemon game. I wasn't expecting anything super depth. You know, I just want to catch Pokemon. Literally, that's why I bought the game. So the story was decent. I really enjoyed it. I loved the new combat system that they implemented here with the strong attacks and the agile attacks, and I just love the whole open world and just the whole aspect of like the things that they tried to do new here. I loved it, and I really hope that they start implementing these into future Pokemon games, because this was a fun game to play. I freaking loved it. It was so fun. I just had a blast from start to finish. Now, with that said, I do wish that the visuals were better. They're so bad. It's weird, because I'm going to say that this is probably my favorite Pokemon game I have played in a long time. It's my favorite one since freaking Soul Silver on the Game Boy. It is so much fun, but it just hurts because it's also one of the worst looking ones as far as like pop-ins and frame rates, and it's just got a lot of issues on it. And with all of that and the boss fights, all of that meshed together, guys, I think I'm going to give Pokemon Legends Arceus a 9 out of 10. I freaking loved it. It was one of my favorite Pokemon games, like I said, that I've ever played. And it's totally worth the asking price. It's totally worth going out and getting a Switch. You know, I don't say that about very many Switch games, because I feel like a lot of them are kind of, you know, the whole Nintendo, let's resell the same game we made 20 years ago kind of thing. But here, totally different. Had a blast. And yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Have you played Pokemon Legends Arceus? And with that, I think we're going to wrap up the video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.